They say when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. I say, well, unless they throw you some sugar and water, that's going to be some tardy lemonade. We have just the right libations and sweetness for you. We are getting face to face with love and lies. This is our special relationships episode. We have my cinnamon apple, Micaela Rodriguez here. Plus, we have Naomi. He's in the room. He'll be out later on to discuss relationships. Then we have legendary author, producer, philanthropist, overall creative being Mr. Kevin E. Taylor is here to dish about all his endeavors, including all his events leading up to Never Too Much, Never Too Much, Never Too Much, a story of big dreams, big words, and I always say this wrong. Help me out. Audaciously big life. So sit back, relax, reflect, and enjoy another episode of Face the Factz.
Oh yeah, I gotta take this.
Yeah, we gotta cool on down. Everyone settled in. Well, good evening. It's Wednesday, May 11th. The weather is heating up, and so is this show. I'm the igniter, seducer, and accuser. Sometimes the verbal assassin. I'm the co-host of this show. I am Brandon Thorpe. Feel free to follow me. It's somewhere up here, down there, anywhere. And to my direct left. Do you want to do your intro again like last week, or you want me to hook it up? Oh, all right. Okay, good. Well, this man to my left, he is the face that runs the place, but not really. He's an anthropologist, historian, sometimes my psychologist. He's the host of the show. Give it up, round of applause for Face, everyone.
Thank you for us finally having a beautiful day in New York City.
Yes, finally.
New York City is so beautiful. The past couple of days, we've been sleepless in Seattle. It's been rain. I thought I was going to see Dracula come through because it's been rain and misty. I thought I was going to see Edward, all the Cullens, all the I thought it was some Twilight stuff going on.
No, it's just April showers bring May showers, much like we said last week.
Yeah, but
even though it's May, well, May showers is gonna bring June's power, and we gonna.
Yeah, well, I had to make sure just in case, because this bipolar Mother Nature we dealing with right now. I had to put an extra sweater in my bag.
Just in case, we all gotta be
just
very.
Just in case, because I hate being outside. I had to hold my thing looking like a prostitute at night. It's like,
oh no,
Lord.
It's so much to do with such little time, and we have no time to waste, so let's get right into it. It's time to get into Face to Face. Now, we're doing a very special edition of Face to Face today, where we will do a highlight spotlight on Mr. Kevin E. Taylor. Your interview is first. Did you know that?
Oh, I did not.
You did not. Move the microphone just a little bit closer to you.
That is a blessing.
Yes, it is. Hallelujah. You are a pastor. Where do you
I pastor Unity Fellowship Church in New Ark.
Okay, wow.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Amen to the
Hallelujah,
saints.
holla back.
Oh, right. And normally my intro, I normally say saints and ain'ts, and I didn't do that this week. So,
That's my favorite part, too.
You like the saints and ain'ts?
I love the saints.
I don't know why I took it out, but it just was like, we say that a lot. Put it back in. Good. Okay, next week. Saints and ain'ts.
Saints and ain'ts.
Right. Yeah. No problem.
You ain't say it.
So, you believe in, that's you, for people you want to walk in your greatness, but you also want people to walk in their greatness as well.
Absolutely.
Can you elaborate just a little bit on what does that mean?
So I feel like everybody is here on purpose, and too many people, because of social media especially, have gotten caught up in being spectators in other people's lives. But at some point, the camera should turn, and that's why it's important to me to make my way here, because the fact that you all are bold enough to be putting this work into being, it's like, if what you need is me to sit down with you, I can do that, because this is how we get to great, Somebody I know made this shirt and I bought it. Somebody I know, makes dinners on Friday and I go across town to support them. Okay. That's how we watch each other evolve into our greatness. We got to stop believing that it starts at opening the restaurant. No. It starts with banging out heads in the kitchen.
That's right.
It starts with, using your own stove to make dinners. It starts with, those brothers rocking the CDs on the street for $5. Right. We got to support each other in very real ways if we want to see some real greatness. And so that's what I'm about.
Wow, I like that. Yeah, I like that. I'm impressed. Now, a lot of people, if y'all not familiar with who this man is, actually, this is not our first time meeting. I was going to wait until you came.
Said that. You said that, so go.
Until I told you. This was the year. What year was that? Because she was with me. 2002. We was at the Metropolis Studio up in Harlem.
At 106
and Park. And it was an early day. And we went early because we didn't know if 106 and Park was taped or not. This was the day that Alicia Keys came and Brandy also premiered the What About Us video. Yes, and you walked out of the studio, right? And I was like, oh my God, you're the guy from the Aaliyah documentary. I walked up, I was fanning out, and he was like, yes, I am. And kept on walking. I was like, so funny we are here, 360, look at God, right?
Right, and for a whole lot of people thought that was like that was your big celebrity moment. For me, 8 people I had just spent 5 days with were dead. So
Right.
it was
wasn't like
not
a
that kind of,
celebrity.
it really wasn't. So I was like, I mean, and there was a point when that got gangster. Like
Yes.
I lived, BET was at 106 in Park. I lived at 110 and 3rd.
Wow.
So I was walking,
Right.
and there was days when paparazzi was following me home, and I was
Because
like,
wasn't you
and I was like,
covering
what for? Not only was I
Access
covering
granted,
it,
right?
I was supposed to be on the plane with them.
Oh,
So
my
I had the
God.
last footage of them.
So you
I was
could've-
supposed to be on the plane, and so by the time I land, it's like you got to hurry up to the studio because you got the footage
Right.
of the last days of
Plays of
Aaliyah's,
them with them.
So people think there was some sort of moment in that. It was
No, it was a tragedy. You just spent time with
Exactly.
them. You just wow, that is like amazing. What are some of the other shows you've done for BET? I've seen on your website. I know you worked with Rachel. That was her name, right?
Yeah, Rachel and Planet
right,
Group. So
right.
the show that we do every New Year's Eve, notarized that 12-hour
12
special.
hours, yes.
I did that. Access granted a show called Lyrically Speaking, which we
remember
did
that.
in the 90s.
Right.
Video Link, which is a show we used to do, a really cool show that used to play 4 videos and the screen would light up.
Light up, yeah. I do
And then
remember
you had
that
to
as
figure
well.
out what was going on in each of the 4 videos at the same time. I did a bunch of specials,
Actually, while you were not in charge of programming, but producing a lot of shows on BET, you had like the highest rated daytime show, correct? So I checked the facts.
Okay.
This is face the facts.
Oh yeah, I was really proud that Notarized. The first year we did Notarized was 1999,
right.
and that's how we were going into the new millennium,
Millennium,
and that gave BET their highest day of ratings in history.
So you was at BET when it was still black. Yeah. When it was Bob Johnson's BET. Yeah, I said it.
That's when we love BET. That's when BET.
Yes, we did.
BET actually played videos.
Yeah,
Right.
They had Cedar's World. Remember that?
Remember Cedar?
from the
Yeah.
Street?
Yeah,
Hits
hits from the street,
yeah.
the basement.
My favorite was Midnight Love.
Oh yes, with the music.
With Captain Paul Porter.
Cause I'm a little R&B dude. I love R&B.
Yeah.
You that was the past. You have a lot of new endeavors you're digging into, and we want to talk about those. We're gonna give you the time to talk about those endeavors. Talk about what's now what.
So now what is working at BET? Was a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and I got to interview like legends like Tina Turner, Natalie Cole, Patti LaBelle, Stevie Wonder, Luther Vandross, Lena Horne.
Yeah, wow.
And
R.I.P.
right? And I had a moment where Tony Braxton was like, "Why don't you have a show? You're funny." And I was like, "You just don't put that anywhere." I wasn't anywhere in my psyche. I knew I could interview people. I liked engagement, but the whole kind of on-camera thing was, it's almost like you get put on the path of whether or not you're going to be on-air talent. And that
Okay.
wasn't mine. And so it's not anything I thought about. And then, separating from BET as a daytime employee, even though I still write for the network, I still
Okay.
do stuff for them, it started to keep coming up and keep coming up. So when crowdfunding came along, and it's like,
Right.
yo, where you gonna get the money to start a show? And then it's
Right.
like, well, write the vision, tell people about it,
Right.
and give them the opportunity to invest. And that's what
right.
happened. And it's funny because I had a buddy of mine who is a musician. He was like, you gotta invest in yourself because you deserve this. And that was just a real, I'm always giving out greatness, and it was nice to have it land back on my shoulders, like, oh snap,
Right.
you gotta wake up to this. And my first season is really the first show you mentioned her name before we came on air was Rochelle Farrell. Rochelle Farrell came onto the show and decided when she sat down that she was going to sing the entire interview. It wiped
Oh, she sung the entire
out. The entire half an hour interview. Every question I asked her, she sang.
The answer.
She sang the answer.
Why didn't we think of that?
Why
man?
did I will send you, yeah, I will send you that so you can post it up. It still gets the greatest response. It's the second highest rated, but people are engaged in it. Every time they discover it, I get notes from people that are like church.
Real quickly before we go to we got a commercial break coming up. Quickly, you said someone's greatness. Can you define what greatness is?
I can't because greatness for the hairdresser is different for the preacher, is different for the artist, and that's what greatness is about. Is stop trying to mirror somebody else's and get to yours. I got this hashtag that is do you.
Right.
All the other spots are taken.
That's right. Amen.
Well, we about to go on into commercial break. We'll be right back
with
some
more,
good-
Mr. Kevin Taylor. This is very
This is real
insightful.
juicy.
It is.
Jonesy.
What if you can have an entire team of skilled professionals to help your business grow? Admin, accounts, marketing, and more, but only pay for the exact amount of support you need at virtually the same cost you'd pay for one full-time employee. With Virtual Professions, you can. One contact, one number gets you a team of virtual professionals for exactly what your business needs. It's a 1-888-315-VPRO. That's 1-888-315-8776. Or online at www.virtualprofessions.net. Virtual Professions Incorporated, because you mean business.
You're listening to content developed by the GoPro Radio Network, the fastest growing network in the galaxy. GoPro Radio Network. Listen to the voices in your head.
And we are back. If you're just tuning in, you know, I always say this, shame on you. You missed a lot of insightful and great things. We have Mr. Kevin E. Taylor. And don't forget, we'll be talking relationships. We have my cinnamon apple, Miss Nicole Rodriguez. Now, before
wait, say that again.
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez.
I don't know why I always do. I don't know.
Rodriguez.
East New York thing. I don't know. So when did you first, Mr. Kevin Taylor, when did you first realize that you had a niche for actually interviewing people and wanting to work behind the scenes?
So what's crazy about this is I went to college for English, Spanish, and accounting. Okay. I was a bookworm, budget analyst at the government. But music was always my little hiding place. Okay. I was always collecting magazines, always doing that. And oddly enough, here's like believing in yourself. My favorite singer on the planet Earth is Miss Natalie Cole.
God yes, I was going to mention that.
Right. And so I used to, I swear to you, I used to sit on my couch at the project and interview Natalie Cole.
Wow.
My first interview for Black Entertainment Television was Miss Natalie Cole.
Wow.
When she walked in the room, I have written Natalie Cole since I was 11. I used to send her copies of my report card. So she knew I used to be president of her fan club. So when I walked in, she thought BET had let me come to sit in the room. And she's like, so who's doing the interview? And I said, me. She said, oh, hell no.
And you guys established a friendship from there, right?
Yeah.
And you wrote the the discography, exactly. Basically.
The last 12 pages of her
book. Yeah, you wrote that.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it went into the TV movie. Yep. Into the TV movie. It was on NBC?
Yep.
On NBC, and you had a lot to do with that, which is pretty cool. So maybe one day I'll be interviewing Brandy. Who knows? But
Brandy,
we know how much you love Brandy. Oh my goodness, he loved Brandy.
That's why I was.
My little brand. I've known her since she was 12, and she's like Uncle Kevin.
Oh wow! I recently met her when we went to see her in Chicago. Yeah, and she met every single body. Like, I mean, I got to go backstage, but I had to hook up.
Oh, fancy!
I know people. Yeah,
no,
I know people.
I met her in my mind. We was together in 6th grade in my mind.
We got dated
a little bit, and then when she did the Full Moon album afterwards, and I was like, "This is too much."
Yeah, she was pregnant.
She too grown.
Then she had a baby on me. You know, so I had to run back to Monica. You know.
Oh, you was the boy they was arguing over.
Yeah,
there it is.
And they casted Mekhi Phifer. How dare they? Oh my God!
I was too young.
You said you did a lot of producing and writing. What was your most difficult? And you can define what difficult is or what difficult is. What was the most difficult person to interview or most difficult job to do?
People ask that, and I feel like here's one of the things about the industry that's always crazy. A lot of people come at artists with this whole kind of different mentality. I feel like if you engage them I have never been ashamed of being a fan of black people or black music. So when you sit down with black legends and talk like, oh, I love you, and we can get it in, you be not only are they not difficult, they go places that they don't go with other media.
Which is
like
true.
So difficult. You know, Anita Baker used to have a reputation for being difficult. When she walked in the room, like there was this thing like she had to talk to the camera guys about the lights being amber because of her skin color, you know.
Right.
And they had done a melon.
Okay.
And she's like, we talked about this. I was like, Miss Baker, please go downstairs, have some tea, have some lunch, and I'll come get you. Honestly, they flipped it in 3 minutes. I was there before she got any her tea. She came up. lights were right.
Wow.
We got it in. You know, Luther wanted every single question before we talked, but he, you know, and it was just kind of like, I'm not ready to talk about the record label he was going to establish, but everything else, let's go. And this was right after he had done that tour with In Vogue, where they were calling him Lucifer Van Drum.
Right. Because they said he was very difficult. I remember reading it. I think I read that. It's
never too much.
Like Jet or
But
Ebony.
he got it when Vibe.
Vibe.
No, it was
Vibe. There you go.
It was Vibe.
There you go. I remember that because I still collect magazines.
When I tell you he took the gauntlet and laid it down, yeah, he had this one particular quote where he said, because it's on television, so I can't remember. I'm not. He said, "If I hire you to cater and you say you're bringing champagne,
okay,
you can't be upset that I'm upset that you showed up with lemonade."
And then we just use lemonade in the intro.
Bazing.
We are here, Luther. We always been here.
And I was like, but it was such a brilliant way of like hammering it down.
That's right. So let's talk about your autobiography. Is it done?
I'm still working on it.
You still working on it? What inspired you to?
How is it to really come up with the decision to do your own autobiography? What goes through your head to say, all right, this is how I'm gonna start. This is what I'm gonna do. You know, how do you mentally prepare yourself to say, you know what, I'm gonna do an autobiography?
So for me, the benchmark moment was turning 50. It was the whole idea that I'm halfway, and that's what I said. I was like, I'm halfway. I should stop and document it, and that's what it was. And it was, you know, young brothers like y'all and like queens like this, and it was like there's details and stories that you have that we need to know, and that's why I always try to do these interviews. But you know, there are people in Memphis, Tennessee, or somebody in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, who's never gonna have this moment. And so it's like, I need somebody who feels like they're a little outsider to hear my story and realize that they are not alone.
Right. Because that's actually what I learned from your story. And I was like, he was mean. Remember, I was offended by it. Like, he was so mean, and I was waiting to meet him. And then when we established our rapport much older, where, you know, us with this platform, you with your platform as well, I was like, maybe I do kind of understand. I was probably, you know, a little wet behind the ears. You were still a little bit traumatized from the event.
And that is a thing that, you know, that is a thing that's real, like in dealing with this process, you know, and they've been writing about it a lot. We can talk about this later too. They've been writing about it a lot because we've been losing so many legends, and like the impact that it has on people when we are losing people that you don't know,
right?
You know, and the grieving process is taking people through. And so for me, they're people I do know. You know what I mean?
Did you know Prince?
No, my Prince story is cute. I'll say no. I have a Prince story that's 30 seconds long, but it's epic.
So tell it, please. Can we hear?
I don't know. Yeah, so it's really cute, but you really need the visual of it.
Okay.
When we had started the BET, when Mr. Johnson had opened the new BET studios, good. So put the camera there because you need it. When we had started the new BET studios, there was the network operations were all the main studios were. Okay. Then there was corporate headquarters, and so we erected a studio behind it, like a film studio for big productions. And in the opening of it, Prince, as a lot of the stuff that Prince did was real behind the scenes, and he wanted to tour the new facility. So he had come to see the building, and they were like, hey, you know, Mr. Johnson wants to take Prince to the screening room, but it was so brand new that there was nothing in there. So I had to run to our network operations tape library, run the tape over so there was something to play. I turned the corner, out of breath because I'm a big dude, you know, and corporate wasn't, you know, I had to run past corporate through the parking lot, and so I get there through the back way, open the door, and there's Prince in this tight yellow and black bodysuit, 5'2" heels, butt sitting. I mean, just
Wait, did he have the pants with the butt cut out?
No. So imagine like a yellow and black, like the Kill Bill thing that was striped down there, and it was just sitting in it, and I was like, oh, there's Prince. So I stopped like in that front, and he smiled like this, and then I went.
Oh, so this was a moment.
Right. It was like, God, because, you know, it was beautiful. Hair was his Halle Berry hair, face was dusted, and that's what Prince loved, that he loved confusion. He was like, I know. He looked at you like, I know. And so I just kind of did that, and he went.
I know I look good.
Right, I know I'm killing you. I know. I remember seeing him once during the 1999 tour. And he did International Lover in a king-size bed, naked under satin sheets, and all he did was, baby, and he like hiked his butt up so the sheet could slide.
This was on the tour?
It was on the stage. And you can see like thug dudes was like, yo. Because it was, Prince knew he had a pretty butt. And he arched it and it slid. And I don't know if somebody was slowly behind it sliding it, but it just enough just to get the crack.
Who did he hire?
That's something you can do when you're really cool.
I should leave. Dude was like, I love this. I should leave. I'm straight, but I can't stop watching. You know what I mean?
What is that? Okay, so out of all of the people, that was a hilarious story. Out of all the people you interview, is there anyone still on your bucket list that you would like to interview?
Wow. So believe it or not, it is the legendary Miss Diane Carroll.
Oh,
Diane Carroll is the only person on earth left that I feel like I still get the fan shakes about because just because from all the way back to Claudine and Julia and all of the things she's been, there's something about her. It's the same woman who played Claudine the maid played Dominique Devereaux.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
The arc of that. The
span of her acting
exactly,
chops. Yes.
Exactly. And I would say that, and so just for anybody who wonders or worries, I say that only because her name's left because I've met Cicely Tyson.
Okay, I
was at a Langston Hughes event, and I was, we had the intermission, and I went to walk out, and it was just kind of a line waiting to get out, and I stopped and looked down, and Miss Tyson was in the seat right beside me, and I was like, so you could do the head nod like you said I did to you, or I was like, I could bow down before, and so I literally stopped in my tuxedo and got on my knees. I was like, Miss Tyson, from Sounder to Jane Pittman, and she was just kind of like, baby, and you get that mother touch your face, pull you to her, kiss you, and I was like, oh my God, Cicely Tyson touching my face. Oh my God, what do I do? How do there was one of those real don't wash your face moments. So,
I had those. Trust me. We got 2 minutes left. You had any question?
Nah, he pretty much said it all.
If you were your spirit animal, what do you think your spirit animal?
Oh, I'm really clear that my spirit animal is a bear.
Okay.
I mean, literally.
What kind of bear? If you're going to be a bear,
it's a grizzly, because I always tell people that it's very much, I've been given the big voice for people who don't necessarily have a voice. Right. So when I walk in the room, I'm not ashamed to, listen, then, you shred some things, tear some things out of the way, and then you go ahead, baby, go ahead. You go ahead. I cleared some room out for you. Go ahead.
Well,
it's not just a lion roar kind of thing. It I really got that from The Revenant.
Right.
I was like, bears tear through some things.
He mauled him.
He mauled. There you go.
Yes, he mauled him. Yes.
Yeah,
decapitated him damn near. Almost.
If you need to get an Oscar, just hire a bear.
Right. Or call him, because his spirit animal is a grizzly. So
it took a bear for him to get the Oscar.
That's very true. Well, we got some bills to pay. We'll be back. We'll be talking relationships. Do you want to stay and talk a little bit about relationships?
Because you get some good advice.
Cool, because you have definitely.
And we have our relationship specialist here today.
Yes, Miss Nicole.
I'm gonna shut up, Nicole.
Yes. Yes, you are. By far, you are. So we'll be back with relationships, and also we got a good R&B singer coming out here as well too. Yes.
You're listening to content developed by the GoPro Radio Network, the fastest growing network in the galaxy. GoPro Radio Network. Listen to the voices in your head.
The views and opinions expressed on GoPro Radio Network shows are solely those of the speakers and are not necessarily the views or opinions of GoPro Radio Network, Inc. or its affiliates. These broadcasts are provided on the understanding that they do not constitute professional advice or services. Individuals who speak on these broadcasts express their own opinions, experiences, and conclusions. GoPro Radio Networks and its affiliates do not necessarily endorse or oppose any particular opinion or conclusion discussed in these broadcasts. You may not edit or modify or redistribute these broadcasts in any way without the express permission from GoPro Radio, LLC. GoPro Radio assumes no liability for any of your activities in connection with our broadcast or for your use of these broadcasts in connection with your website, computer, smartphone, tablet, iPad, or future listening devices. GoPro Radio Network. Listen to the voices in your head. You're listening to content developed by the GoPro Radio Network, the fastest growing network in the galaxy. GoPro Radio Network. Listen to the voices in your head.
We back, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we coming back now. Oh, we got 2 songs today.
Oh!
We got 2 songs today. Hey. All right. Back to Face the Facts. If you missed the first few segments, it was beautiful. Go back and watch it. We throw it up. But as of now, we're gonna get into the relationship thing. I'm gonna be honest. I wanted to stay far away from this type of stuff because you can never know too much, and it always seems like you never know enough when it comes to relationship. This is something that you just keep on learning about the older you get. You know, so as a matter of fact, I'm the first thing that I want to get on is all right.
Hello.
How are you?
Michaela, yes.
All right. I try to voice the opinion of the young people in the urban community. All right, and I'm starting to see a lot of things relationship wise with young women, right? That I kind of like need to pick brain to understand certain things. If you know a little bit on how to relate to bring me to fruition, to help me understand what's going on nowadays. Because how I used to watch, like my aunts and all of them, and the older women, how they used to date guys and how they were treated and what happened with them, it's starting to change drastically. It's starting to change too fast for me. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like, where are these mothers at that I'm used to? Like, what happened to the self-righteous women that we used to have?
It's a dying breed.
Well,
it's really
we're
dying.
in a different time now. Mm-hmm. There's social media.
Yeah.
And everyone's living for that camera.
Oh, Lord. That's kind of what Kevin was talking about.
Yeah,
Yes.
Exactly. So no one is really paying attention to the outside world. It's just
Okay.
Or to each other.
here.
Yeah, like to be.
Do you think because there's so much? All right, but first I want to get into this. This is the number one thing because this is the first process that you have to deal with before you get into the relationship. Is
meeting.
Yeah, the meeting. Like
the meeting. Where
do you think is an appropriate place to meet somebody that you could possibly get in a relationship with? Like to give you a higher chance of having somebody that's more for you.
You talking about in 2016?
2016.
Right, 2016.
Yeah.
I would the internet.
Tinder.
Tinder. Swipe left. Swipe
Oh my
right.
God.
Church. You can go to church. Stop by to a service, maybe.
Singles ministry, right?
I don't think everyone's doing that at this time, but I think.
You think
that
those
would
are
be
the
a
most
good
appropriate?
place.
Okay.
Now,
I mean, let me stay on the corner and see if.
A corner, okay.
We're gathered here today.
Okay, yeah, Lord. How about you?
But she makes a lot of great points. The biggest though is like you said, because of social media, even when people go places like Starbucks or the internet cafes where people gather, they are so into their computer and into their headset that even two people a table across from each other can't meet anymore. So like she's right, people are in the room swiping and searching to see who's in the room.
Right.
And then you see they in the room and then you don't know how to disturb them in the room because it's like I see him and he got his headset on, he's on the computer, but he's right there. According to this, he's 50 feet away.
Right.
But it might as well be a life. It might as well be a lifetime.
The only good thing I think out of that is because I was, I'm fortunate to be old enough to have both sides. I've been through without having social media and going through the whole dating thing, and two, having social media now. My thing is that now you can totally lurk and see if they crazy.
Yes.
You don't have to
background checks.
You can do your own little background checks,
Google.
even though they're not completely effective. But it helps sometimes. Like, oh my gosh, she got 12 kids. I'm not even gonna wait for 5.
Swipe left.
I'm like, East New York. Oh Lord.
Tried it.
No. If she from East New York and she fine, she can meet me somewhere. I'm not going over there.
But we have Uber now, so.
Or Lyft. You can get a Lyft.
The Uber driver will rob you now.
That's very, 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 very.
But what I'm saying is this is the point that I would like to bring to the attention, especially for the young women that's watching, that's out there. If you have any questions or whatever, feel free to spill in some questions. But what I've learned is that a lot of the young women, especially where I'm at, they like to go to the club and meet men. They meet men in the club, the strip club, the corner. Places like that. All right, I'm not saying that. You can find love anywhere. You can find love in the crack house for all I know. But but my thing is when they do find these guys in these places and it's a circle of plight conditions, the same things keep happening to you. All right. Let's say your baby father was a drug dealer and then he treated you a certain type of way, got locked up. Why would you go to another drug dealer? And you find in
It's
these
a pathology.
and it's like, you know, they're in the same type of places. You know, if you meet some guy in a strip club, this is what I seen, because I asked a lot of questions. I asked a lot of young females questions. This is what I seen. I seen a lot of young females meet guys in the club, and then once they meet them in the club, they in a relationship, and then they start getting mad that they go to the club all the time.
Yeah.
Like, what do you expect?
They always say where you find your man is where you lose your man.
But
That's-
I mean, you were talking pathology earlier.
Yes.
So many people get stuck in that same. I'm sure you can speak to this, Micaiah. That a lot of people get stuck in that same rhythm. You know, they say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing the same way and expecting a different result.
Yep,
But
that's
people,
insanity.
but people doing the searching are doing the same
Same
thing.
thing.
You're searching the same places. You're showing up in the same outfits. You go on a hot night, and it's like, you know, she's right. You got to find the singles ministry. You got to find, you know, you got to go to the park and sit. You got to take your headsets off so somebody speaks, you can
can hear
speak
them.
back.
Yeah, now I'm not. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with the club, but it's a difference from when
But
you're
there's somebody you can meet who can meet you at the club,
At the
and
club.
want to get out of the club.
club,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's
So,
what it
now
is.
that's the thing, and it depends on what type of club.
Yes.
You
A
have
lounge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go to the
a
lounge.
prestigious social
I
club.
still don't know
What?
the difference between a bar and a lounge. I'm still trying to figure out, is there a couch?
I think
Says
it's the
the
noise
couch.
level. I think
It's the noise
Right.
level, yes.
But-
and the ambiance as well.
All right, but my thing is this: you're at the club, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what if you're a grown man or a grown female and you're busy, whether you're pursuing and you're being productive, I don't believe that you really have the time to be at the club Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and even Sunday. So that's my whole thing. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times they be at the club on Thursday. And most of the time, if you see a guy in the club on a Thursday, he more than likely don't have a 9 to 5. And if he do have a 9 to 5, wow, power to him for being able to get up in the
Yeah.
morning
Right.
and do what
Some
he
people
has
can
to do.
do it based on their
Some
age.
can do that. And right, exactly. That's
Age-
another thing. It's
plays a
age
major
based.
part, yes.
We have an age where, all right, we finally out the house, we free, and we can finally go club, because we all been there one time where we say, yo, you know what? I always wanted to do this. I always wanted to try that. And you go through your little, you know, trials and tribulations. Most of us go through it in college. For those that don't go to college, we just do it. You know, but people got to understand that it's a time to stop.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are stuck in this limbo, and they forget that, all right, I have to, even though you don't have somebody giving you boundaries, you have to set your own boundaries at times.
That's right.
And it'll be the guys that they work somewhere just to have enough money to buy a new outfit to go to the club. And they get stuck in this purgatory. They get stuck in this limbo, and that's where they don't have enough money to save to get out their mama basement. And it's always the girls that's at the club that meet these guys at the club, and they wonder why that they act the same way that they act. I'm not talking about people that just go to club. I'm talking about the everyday people that go to club. I'm talking about
The serial club goers.
the people that don't prioritize properly. I'm pretty sure that you can assess within a week what type of dude you're dealing with. And I see a lot of a week. You can
I would
assess.
say
Some
the next,
people-
the next day. And
Well, women, I don't know.
Okay.
They have that Terminator eye thing. It's like, can't have kids with him.
Yeah.
Can talk to him. He can buy
Like
me
the
some-
comedian
human.
Samore said,
Yeah.
she said,
I'll
what
do
if
that.
what if you meet somebody and much like a drug commercial, they side effects show up on the side of them. Like you see a guy and it's like, and then come the mother effing side effects. He's liable to sleep with your girlfriend, you knock you upside your head, steal your car. It's like women have that. Like,
Right.
yeah, no, he's
some women.
yeah, because some people have really. You know what I think it is? I don't think if it's a club, because even at the singles ministry, I think people have really good representatives. And what representatives is that cascade that you put up first, a defense mechanism that makes you sound like you are $1 million. Everybody's going to tell you all of their best. No one's going to tell you they bad.
So if we're being honest,
Yes.
while there's also representatives, there's also the person that shows up who thinks she's a change agent.
Okay.
Like, he's cute enough
Yes,
to have babies.
yes.
He built the right way.
Right.
All the rest of that I can clean up. And she,
Right.
3
Right.
years later, she's still trying to clean
him up.
because
Yeah.
he looked
You're
cute
right.
enough to have babies.
And that's
You know?
another thing.
And a lot of
It's
people
a-
go in a relationship for what they would look like in pictures.
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
We're just gonna get into that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But honestly, a lot of people have to realize that. All right, everybody changes. We all change as
Yeah.
the days go by.
the
Now,
only
when
thing
you're in a
constant in the
relationship, though,
world.
you have to cultivate and progress, and you have to do that synonymously.
Yes.
Yeah.
It gets tiring carrying somebody up a mountain on your back or dragging
Right.
somebody.
Right.
All right. So so as a matter of fact, I want to get in on where do you think would be? Tell me like a good place where you think you could find a Mr. Right, or a significant. Give me the women's, and then give me where you think a guy can find a Mrs. Right.
Right.
I thought, okay. So I think, I mean, you can do the internet. You can do it. I'm against it, but I'm for it as well because you can reach out to different parts of the world. You can experience things that you may not have experienced without social media and without those things. I do think it's a good way to, get out there.
Okay.
Also, like the park,
Okay.
being there, a lounge. I don't think that young women should be looking for a man with money you should look for somebody with something.
Right.
But,
No romance without finance.
something to offer, but that is a place to go. But this is Earth. You can go
Right.
anywhere. Maybe
So
travel.
is that for the girl or for the guy? Like for
That's
a guy?
for both.
For girls
Oh,
and guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
For both.
travel, that's big too.
Yeah.
Travel, maybe not. You don't have to be in the internet. You can go
Right.
different parts of the land.
That's
Try
right.
to
That's
try to find somebody.
Love lives
Or
in
just
strange
live,
places.
yeah.
What do you think?
Exactly.
A place. Give me a place, a quick place where you think, oh, I might find my Mr.
Honestly, the supermarket.
Oh yes.
That's a good one.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
picking up the
Anybody that
food.
puts their hands in their own food. or something like that.
Wait, hold on. What do you feel like when you see a guy food shopping at a supermarket?
I don't feel nothing because I'm with somebody, so I don't feel.
No, I'm just saying.
I don't feel nothing.
I'm just saying though. I'm just saying that
Yeah.
if just being a female.
Is it a turn on?
Is that a plus?
Yeah, but I don't know who he's buying that food for. So
His
I-
son. You
His
can tell
son-
what he
he's
got
a
in-
I'm a
single
woman.
guy.
I'm judging. Where you going with them? What's going on? Where's that food going?
Right.
So
right.
I don't.
So wait, so that's a good one. The supermarket.
Supermarket's good.
I learned another one too. I think that
The
the
library.
library.
The library.
Because
Definitely.
a lot of us good guys be at libraries.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But I also said when we said that the killer is in the library because
Yeah, the
he's
serial
reading
killer.
how to get away with freaking murder.
Yeah, the serial
and
killer.
this is why he's in the library and he's gonna kill you at the end.
You got to
of
go to the computer part of the library. See what he is he doing his resume.
Right.
What is he doing?
Right.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right. I agree.
I gotta learn where to hide the.
Well,
bodies.
statistics say that relationship killers is insecurity, trust issues,
Right.
Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Snapchat, jealousy, lack of commitment, and assumptions.
They can't really. I say this all the time. I'm gonna say it again, man. Somebody can give you a hammer and tell you to build a house with it, or you can bash somebody upside the head with it. It's a tool. It depends on how you use the
it,
tool.
that's
Because you
right.
have some people that actually know how to productively use tools to their best advantage to
Yes.
progress and be very productive in life. And then you have some that use the tools to just be worse.
Much like your brain.
That's
Much
Okay,
like your brain.
but we're gonna get more into that in a second, But but just to cover up real quick, ladies, try libraries, gyms, supermarkets,
Gyms.
parks.
Great.
Sometimes you have some batches that got dogs, one walk his dog. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's
That
right.
shows responsibility. If you got a
Yes.
guy that walking the dog and stuff
Every
like
day
that,
you see
and
him.
he actually curbs his dog, he might be a guy that has some responsibility. So that might be a nice little candidate instead of somebody tucking in a trench coat to show off his Louis Vuitton belt.
Right.
In the club, if they got a Louis
Yes.
Vuitton belt, they're tucking the
It's
trench
flat
coat.
First of all,
Come on, I want you to know I paid $100 for this belt.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like
we got to go into a commercial break, but I have a quick question for both of you guys. If you want to let it, even you, Face too as well. If you want to let it marinate it. Okay, now think about yourself outside of yourself. What do you believe is the hardest part about dating yourself?
Ooh, I don't think nobody's really ready for that.
Right.
That's why we're gonna answer it when we come back from the commercial.
You
break.
got time to think.
Yeah, I just wanted.
I got mine.
I just wanted. Oh, you
Because
got
I
yours.
dated me for 6 years. I dated myself for 6 years. I know.
I was there for
You did-
30.
I think you've been dating yourself for about 20,
I take meds
30
for the
some years,
schizophrenia.
actually.
Bipolar disorder. We had a separation.
Listening to content developed by the GoPro Radio Network, the fastest growing network in the galaxy. GoPro Radio Network. Listen to the voices in your head.
We are an amazing people, rooted in Africa, the cradle of human civilization. Descendant of the awesome men and women who made a way out of no way. People steeped in the values of truth, justice, respect, harmony, balance, reciprocity, and order. But 400 years of enslavement